Hello and welcome back to Indie Rebel, the podcast for independent filmmakers. My name's Christopher Temple, and I am really excited about this one today. When I first started this podcast, one of the things that I wanted to do, one of my main goals, was to have other filmmakers on the show. I didn't want it to just be the Chris Temple show. A lot of that is, it's just me talking about filmmaking and the stuff I've learned and such. But what really excited me was a chance to talk with others and learn more about their process and their projects, give them a little platform to help promote whatever they're working on. And so today, I have our first special guest filmmaker. I did have my wife, and she's a very special guest too, but this is my first guest filmmaker on the show, Brett Harrison of Phoenix Bone Productions, director and star of Hamlet. And so he went out and produced his own version of it. I just got done talking with them. We had a great conversation. And so without further ado, we're going to jump right into that interview. And I really hope you guys enjoy this as much as I did talking with him. Cool. Well, welcome to Indie Rebel.
Hello.
So I guess we'll start off by just saying, tell me a little bit about yourself and how you got into film.
Oh, gee, about myself, how I got into film. Yeah, well, Brett Harrison's the name, of course. Film was somewhere in the bloodstream, I suppose. Just took a little while to discover it. Yeah, I was an actor first, originally around Vancouver there, and it just wasn't really going anywhere. So I thought, oh, well, if we have a script of our own and just come up with something, then maybe we can just take it from there and see how that goes. And then you realize film is amazing and it's completely beyond just some vehicle for acting. You get really into it all around.
And so you mentioned Vancouver. Is that where you're from, or is that where you live, or?
Oh, no, I lived there for a long time. It was England for a while originally, and then Vancouver with the family. I'm in Winnipeg now these days.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're out here in Montana, so I know a thing or two about the winters that you guys probably get too.
Oh, yeah. Montana, wow.
Yeah, we just had our first snow last night. So the movie that we're talking about with you today is Hamlet. And
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your version of it and kind of what inspired you to make Hamlet of all things.
Oh, yeah. Well, it was inspired by just some crazy vision one night, actually. It was a crazy thing. This was many years ago, actually. It was just a fairly ordinary evening, just hanging out, and then went to bed, and suddenly a hand start vibrating, the whole body shaking. It's like some voice pounding through you. Do Hamlet. You have to do it now. You can nail it. I mean, of course, it took many years to complete, but that was the kind of genesis. And obviously, there have been many versions done of it over the years, and I've seen them, fair few of them, but there's just this weird instinct that they weren't quite mad enough. I mean, if you read the play, it's pretty bent and high octane and all of that, and I just thought, we could do something really crazy with it and just go darker, things like that.
And how far did you deviate from the original, play script?
Not very much. I mean, you have to cut things out, obviously. I mean, Branagh did a full-length version, which is about 4 hours long.
Oh.
Yeah, if you don't cut anything. But no, we stayed pretty close other than the edit job. I mean, thanks to film, for example, sometimes you don't have to say everything. You can just do it in a look and a close-up, which wasn't available to Shakespeare. There are things you can streamline that way, but no, very close. In some versions, for example, they mess around with the order of things. They put this scene in a different place. We didn't do any of that. Everything is in the order that he wrote it, because I think he knew what he was doing. You just got to make it not quite so long.
Right. And then I remember, I don't think I ever read Hamlet in school, but we did read some other Shakespeare. And one of the things that was always brought up to us is that Shakespeare is meant to be read out loud. So with that in mind, did you, when you translated it to, a film script, a movie script, were you changing dialogue a lot to make it work better in a modern day, or do you stay faithful to the original wording and verbiage?
No, yeah, we stayed faithful to the wording. Well, that's the thing. Yeah, I think if it's being read or performed by people who know what they're saying, then people understand it remarkably well. Some might think, oh, not everyone's going to get it, but I think, yeah, if it's being performed with conviction, it's amazing how many people get it. Pretty universal.
It's powerful too.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a pretty good writer, they say. And, I agree.
What is this saying? Like 50 million fans can't be wrong, or something like that, right?
Yeah, well, I mean you could argue that with some other cases, but with him they're not wrong. Yeah.
Now, when was that originally written? Did you know offhand? Like, when was he alive? And I'm just
Oh,
trying to
when
picture like
what?
the time and place that he was when he wrote it.
Okay, so Hamlet was written around the middle of his career, sometime between 1600 and 1601. And this would have been in London, of course, being performed there at the Playhouse, the newly built Globe Theatre.
And was it contemporary for the time, or was it already a historical piece by that point?
No, it was based on a legend that had been around for a little while. A story from medieval Denmark. He, of course, deepened it and fleshed it out and all that, and gave us the character that we have, which is probably the most complex and difficult role written in English, which is pretty much all him. But no, the skeleton of the legend predated him. Yeah.
So you mentioned it's probably the most complex character. Did you really enjoy getting to play that, and what kind of preparation did you do to dive into that?
Yeah, I mean, it was shall we say, a difficult, slightly crazy time of life, which made it easier on that level. And also, honestly, just producing it and all of that made it so that you didn't have to, or you couldn't overthink it. You were so busy setting up everything else that it was right, everything. Oh, okay. Now I have to actually perform the scene. Okay, and then just launch right into it there. And I should probably mention that back when this started, I wasn't slated to be directing it. There was another guy, an old friend of mine. Yeah, actually, there were three of us producing, and I was gonna be the guy. Okay, I'm gonna edit the script and I'm gonna play the part. But yeah, three of us, and the other two basically fell apart and had nervous breakdowns pretty
Jeez.
quickly. Oh yes, I think I did as well at one point, but I was still standing. I had no real alternative. So yeah, not only do you have to play the part, but you now have to direct it too, and you have no preparation that way at all. But we had a very good cameraman and all that involved. So I mean, somehow you don't have time to worry about that. You just have to do it.
So that actually brings me to a question I was going to ask you later. But anytime I've had to try to direct and act at the same time, it's horrible and nerve wracking for me, and I have a really difficult time with that to separate myself out. What was that experience like for you, being on camera and directing at the same time?
Yeah, I know a lot of people hate that. I've known some other actors, right? They mentioned to me that they're going to be directing something, and I say, "Oh, you're acting in it too?" They say, "Of course not. Are you crazy?" uh, but no, for me, I can't. I don't know. I don't even separate the two that much. I mean, if you're doing theater or something on a play, I mean, yeah, you get some feedback before, but when you're actually performing that night, I mean, you're on your own, right?
Right.
And I had done some theater, which was lucky, I guess, so you're able to do it with that. No, I mean, I actually found it comforting in a way because, as I said, you don't have the opportunity to go off and brood all day about what you're going to perform. Your hand is in every aspect of everything, so you don't have time to overthink anything. You just set it up and then you take the plunge. And if you're doing something really horrible, I guess you trust someone in the crew is going to let you know. You hope they will. But no, I found it fine.
Are you going back and watching each take as soon as you were done to judge performances and such?
At the time, I wasn't. No, I would just trust the other people and trust how it felt. If it didn't feel quite right, okay, let me do another one. And I should mention too that in the midst of Hamlet, yeah, two other features were done in the meantime after Hamlet sort of fell apart for a while and then got into a couple of more lower scale films where I was directing going in, as the plan, not as something thrown on you. Because
Sure.
once you get used to it, oh yeah, you realize you actually don't miss being directed, particularly. It's like, oh, you mean I can decide? Okay, yeah, I can get used.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So tell me real quick about your other movies then that you did in the meantime.
Yeah, well, there was a period where I was trying to raise some more money to finish Hamlet, and that wasn't getting anywhere. So I thought, oh, what can we do real cheap and real fast and low scale, but not compromise the quality or anything? So came up with this movie, Gristle's Peak, which is just about three pirates in 1712, two men and a woman. They killed their captain to take over the ship, but the crew didn't like that, so they marooned them on this island to die. Yeah, then they give you one pistol with one shot, but there's three of them. So who has the pistol at any point in the movie becomes a bit of a plot thing. But yeah, it was just about their relationship and all of that, and that was shot in a week and on 16 millimeter film. So in that
Wow.
case, we couldn't watch it. Yeah, because we couldn't see anything we shot until a month later because they had
Sure.
to send it to Toronto to get developed. Yeah, so there was that with just the three actors, and then we shot a Southern Gothic drama set on a farm in Georgia that was done in black and white, and that was shot shortly after. So, yeah, those are the smaller scale films done in the meantime. Hamlet being the big overarching one that took many years.
I love that you consider them smaller scale, yet you shot on 16 and it's a pirate movie in a period piece altogether, too.
Well, yeah, I mean, you have to be a little crazy to be involved in this stuff. We can say that, yeah.
Where'd you shoot the pirate one, out of curiosity?
Oh yeah, the pirate one was shot on Vancouver Island, just outside the town of Bamfield.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little town about 400 people, no cell reception or anything. We'd take the water taxi to the. Oh, they had this great location out there with just this really craggy. You didn't want this pristine beach, just wanted
Yeah,
something craggy and mossy and gothic looking. So
that's
it was a good
cool.
location. Yeah, just camped out there for a week.
I used to live in Washington State, and so we've made a few trips up to Vancouver, and the whole area, that whole coastline is just gorgeous.
Oh yeah, that whole coast. I down in Washington some in the day too. Yeah.
Yep. So coming back to Hamlet here,
hmm
are you willing to share your budget, or at least how the budget was used? Like where did the money go, and that kind of a thing?
Oh yeah, well the budget all in managed to be scraped together is about 180,000 Canadian dollars.
Okay.
Um, don't know what that is American. It's pretty weak these days. But yeah, where did that go? I mean, it mostly just went to the crew, the equipment, and all of that. Managed to get a very good cinematographer, Guillermo Alvarez from Spain.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and yeah, and the location, the old mansion, things like that. If I'd known everything I know now, it honestly could have been done more efficiently. But at the time, I mean, we were pretty flying blind going in, just kind of figuring it out as you go along. But I think we managed to get a great value for the buck,
Sure.
considering your average movie now is what, 60 million, something like that.
Easily, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So still consider it a low budget film then, for sure.
Oh yes, yeah, and it helps having an actor you don't have to pay as well. So
Right.
yeah.
The more roles you can do, the less you have to pay people. So yeah, that's good.
hmm
When did this whole process begin for you with Hamlet? And then how long did it take from conception to completion, or let's say conception to shooting? Because I know you said it took a while to get going with it, and then once you started, how long did it take to finish production?
Oh, how long to fit? About 12 years.
Whoa,
Yeah.
that's kind of the same boat I was in with my last film. I'm working 15 years on it trying to get the thing made. uh,
Yeah, it was. But honestly, what was instrumental in getting it done was just, in the meantime, I became an editor and all that. And at the time, I was just thinking more in terms of the theater, right? I thought, okay, if a scene didn't go exactly the way you planned it, or if you didn't get to this scene or whatever, I didn't understand anything about montage, right?
right,
And that you could go surreal with it and fill in some of the gaps and make it actually more interesting and more crazy than what it was you actually planned. That then this goes way beyond just a filmed version of a stage play, that it hopefully becomes cinema in its own right.
You want it to feel visceral and surreal almost too, I would imagine.
Well, yeah, I mean, you might not associate Shakespeare with being surreal, but a lot of his writing is, I think, right on the edge of that, and some of the productions that are more pretty or more tame don't necessarily capture that as well, I feel. Yeah.
Sure. They're almost trying to be more elegant with it. And I don't know if that's the right word, but
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a certain elegance, even to Hamlet, even to our film, of course. We wear lace and things like that and speak in a rather proper way, but, well, not always. I mean, some of his sexual jokes are pretty full on gross, for example. And in Hamlet, especially, too, there's the running theme of, okay, these people are powdered up and wear lace and all that, but underneath they're fairly rotten,
hmm,
like the king who killed his brother for the throne and things like that. And of course, Hamlet himself slips deeper and deeper into a pretty bad place. And there's the old question: is he really crazy? Is he play acting? Where exactly is the line? So yeah, you have a lot going on there.
sounds like it would be a lot of fun to play that character. Actually, that's cool.
But
Uh,
yeah, I mean, it's one of those things you get into a fugue state and you can kind of barely remember what you did until you see it later. So, but I think it was fun. Yeah.
what kinds of challenges did you face trying to get this film made, both in terms of production or even just getting to that point? You mentioned the falling out with your two producing partners.
Oh
What
yeah.
other kind of challenges did you encounter?
Yeah. Well, we had an Ophelia who, yeah, it was absolutely right for the part, but let's just say the madness she had to play wasn't the biggest stretch. Yeah, she just had to, corral her and just keep her from falling apart a bit too. Yeah, there were location things, there were schedule flopping around. Obviously, the biggest one was at the time back in the day just ran out of money.
Hmm.
Took a while to get it back. Yeah, technical problems were not too many because, like I said, the cameraman really knew what he was doing. Sometimes we clash though because he liked to do sometimes a lot of takes to get it completely perfect, and I don't like to do too many takes. To just put everything into the first, second take, and then anything after that can become a bit of a slog. But no, I think the challenges were just the usual with any film. I remember Hitchcock once said it was a miracle that any film ever by anybody got finished. So I'm just happy now it finally is. Yeah, and that was with the resources of Hollywood behind him in the day. So
Right.
yeah.
You mentioned locations. How did you find these period props, locations, costumes? Did you have to build it? Did you buy them? And then how do you find like the location and stuff?
Okay, yeah. Well, the costumes were a combination of rental and being made. My girlfriend at the time, yes, the film did finish that relationship. Yeah, she made a few of the choicer costumes and all that. Yeah, it's another price cinema will pay. No. And the location was actually an old manor in Burnaby. It was called Overlyn. They shoot a lot of stuff there, which you got a really good deal on it because at the time it was being managed by a woman whose son was involved in indie films, so she was sympathetic to the cause.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. I called years later about something. They said, "Oh yeah, that'll be $5 grand a day," but
Oh,
yeah, at the time it was 200 or something reasonable like that. But it was
where's
great. Yeah.
where's Burnaby at, by the way?
Oh yeah, Burnaby. That's in the Vancouver area. It's just
Okay.
next. Yeah, and it was in the north of it. It's built around 18 something, one of the oldest buildings in the city, and just had that great look with the old fireplaces and the vaulted ceilings and all that.
Now,
Yeah.
so we know actor and director. Did you have any other roles on the film? Like what? How many hats did you end up wearing on this thing?
Oh yeah, I mean, I was picking up costumes. I did some art directing, was editing the script. Sometimes functioned as the script supervisor. Sometimes it's something of a grip. Yeah, enough hats to make your head fall off, basically. I remember, and we'd shoot nocturnally too. We'd shoot all night, and I just stayed over at the manor. Usually, I would sleep on the floor. Yeah, everyone would leave. I'd usually sometimes weep for about half an hour, then go to sleep for 2 hours. Yep, generally 2 hours a night, and then get up, run around all day, then shoot again.
Were you the editor as well?
Yes, I ended up being the editor. That was another thing I didn't plan on. I thought, "Oh, I don't have those skills," but then, hey, you learn them.
Right.
Yeah, and then you do what you want.
And what did you shoot this one on?
This one is a combination of digital, the red camera, and 16 millimeter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the trailer, by the way, looked absolutely gorgeous. I really enjoyed watching that, and
Thank you.
it felt like a fresh take on it too. And
Yeah.
I love the black and white as well. Like, did you plan it that way, or was that a matter of budget with the 16, or how did that all come about?
No, yeah, the black and white was thought of immediately. As soon as it came to me, you got to do Hamlet. It's also got to be black and white. I should mention too, there's some footage later on in the story which is in color for contrast, but overwhelmingly black and white. And one reason actually we got that great cinematographer was that he really wanted to work in black and white and
Oh, cool.
almost never got the chance, obviously.
I imagine that probably helped with the lighting a little bit because one, you get that nice contrast out of it, but two, you're not having to worry about color temperatures and mixing them as much. I would imagine.
Well, yeah, this is done a while ago. Yeah, I favor film 16 millimeter for the most part because I feel that with a lot of digital cinema now, the color doesn't quite look right, but I don't think you have that same problem in black and white. You can get some really gorgeous looking stuff if you know what you're doing, which he definitely did.
And then the other thing I noticed in the trailer was the music was great too. Who did all that for you?
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's the great Alison Cocciani. She's an old friend of mine and an opera singer out in BC.
Oh,
And
cool.
composer in her own right. And yeah, for a bottle of rum, she actually did that song in Danish. Yeah, I found an old folk song in Danish from around 400 years ago. And I said, "Could you learn some Danish phonetically? Do the song because it's beautiful." She said, "Yeah, of course."
That's cool.
Yep.
Did she help you with the score at all too?
No, well, there's not a whole lot of score. It's mostly kind of found music in that way. There's just a few different themes and bits of old music like that that repeat. It's not really scored in the conventional way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then since we're kind of now talking about music and post a little bit, editing is by far like my favorite part of the entire process. So I always
Mm-hmm.
like to nerd out on that. Like, tell me about your editing process. Software? Did you have any visual effects and sound mixing? Like, how did that all? What was that like for you? What'd you do?
Yeah, well, it was done on Adobe, the Premiere Pro. I also love editing too, by the way. One reason too is that you can kind of take your time with it. There's not that loaded gun next to your head like when you're
Right.
shooting at all times. Yeah. Yeah, I got really into it because yeah, not a lot of visual effects. There were a couple of shots just to help make the ghost transparent, for example, but that was about it. Um, Pretty straightforward that way. And yeah, one thing that ended up happening that I'm very pleased with is you get this really ornate, because Guillermo, the cameraman, he was very classicist kind of, there's no funny business in the shots. They're all kind of at eye level, these long stately takes that proceed, so when you get these really classic shots like that and then some of that really weird editing and montage, it gets this contrast, which I think is true to the play and gives hopefully a striking effect.
And did you mix in Premiere as well too?
You mean the sound?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Very cool. What's the runtime on the film? You mentioned that the play can be about 4 hours long. What's Brett's version of Hamlet? How long is your runtime?
This one's 2 hours, 10 minutes, which is pretty
Nice.
brisk for Hamlet. Yep. I mean, Olivier's version, 1948, is longer than that, and they cut out Rosencrantz and Guildenstern completely. So we're pretty economical.
And then, like, what's the current status? Is the film done, and are you doing festivals or distribution?
Yep, it's done now, and I've been submitting to festivals, four so far. I haven't heard anything. You can't just submit to everything under the sun because you go broke very quickly, right? They all have their
Yep.
fees. But no, go in there now, gung ho, just see what comes up. And
Cool.
as far as distribution, well, yeah, you may have noticed a pattern here that every step of everything, I just have to learn it as I do it. So, and this is no different.
I've been figuring that one out too this time. My recent one, this was the first time I actually said I want distribution for it and
Mm.
looked at all the different avenues. And it's a controversial Christian flick, so not a lot of people are going to want to take it. So I ended up going with the indie rights for that, and that's been a really good experience so far.
Oh, that's right. You had that thread on the website there. I remember
Yeah,
reading
yeah,
about
yeah.
that. Yeah. Nice. Well, that's good then. You got something going.
So, any plans on or any idea when we would be able to see Hamlet?
No, I don't know precisely with that. I mean, you don't want to just barrel it out and then some festival says, "Oh, this has been seen. We won't touch it," or something
Right.
like that. So I don't know exactly, but hopefully, as soon as we can manage. I mean, you make films so that people can see it and hopefully get something out of it. So as
Yep.
soon as we can.
How long ago did you finish it?
How long ago did it finish it? Well, absolute finishing touches just a few months ago,
Oh,
earlier this
nice.
year. Yeah.
And then what's next for Brett Harrison and Phoenix Bone Productions?
Well, other than hopefully a nice long coma somewhere in the Caribbean. No, I don't know. Yeah, well, it's hard. You're writing these things now, knowing that it could be however long before you get to actually make anything. But lately, I've had this script on my mind. I've started writing it, which is a kind of fairy tale set in medieval England,
Oh, that's
where
cool.
yeah, where they stumble across the ancient Celts from the Roman days have managed to preserve this island intact. Where they've been living like it's the Roman days for the last while. But so they keep it hidden by the sorcerers, but every year they just have to sacrifice somebody to this dragon. Except this year there's something wrong, and it's a big long thing, but it's been brewing in the mind lately. Yeah, I've always liked dragons, for example.
I assume you're going to act in it, of course. Are you going to direct that one too?
Oh yeah, I mean, the longer you go on with this, the more you're not willing to just write something and then hand it off to somebody else.
Right.
You see it a certain way. Okay, I got to do it. You know that you're going to want to jump out a window 1,000 times before it's over, but you got to do it.
Yep. You mentioned the long process. A lot of people don't realize that really making a film is kind of like a marriage in some cases because you're married to the project for a long time from start to finish.
Well, and it's one of those old medieval marriages where there's no way out of it. I mean,
Right.
it truly is until death do us part with a film. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
And
There's
your
no
name will be
divorce
on it
here.
for all time.
Well, exactly, and there is a compulsion too. I mean, I think with film, you really cannot start something and then never finish it. Even if it takes years, you have to somehow finish it if it's been begun.
I'm going through that right now. So I shot a couple movies over like 15 years ago, and then I was
Uh-huh.
homeless for a while, and I said I'm going to make a movie about that, just something low budget, quick, easy to do.
Oh,
We
gee,
got
yeah.
most of it shot, and then COVID hit, and so
Uh,
I haven't actually finished shooting that thing. And I'm like, all right, well, I got to go back and finish this now at some point because, like you say, you can't just let it sit there on a hard drive, so to speak, and do nothing.
no, so it's been marinating a few years then, eh? This one.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it'll get done sooner or later somehow.
Anything else you want to tell us about the film? Anything I should have asked that I didn't ask?
Oh, I don't really know. Oh, it does feature a stuffed alligator.
Oh, really?
Always fun. Yeah, my girlfriend at the time, her family had this big alligator on top of the pool table. So I thought, well, Hamlet is going a bit nuts here. He has to address some of these lines to an alligator, right?
So
Which, don't know if they would have had those in medieval Denmark, but hey, it's all right.
when you say stuffed, like a taxidermy or a plush toy?
Oh, no, no, taxidermy. It was real.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, although we did not kill it for the film, people. It
Great.
was,
No animals were harmed.
no, none at all.
Dang, how big was this thing?
Oh, it wasn't that big. It wasn't, yeah, maybe 3 feet long, something like that.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, but look, I mean, it's been a long, arduous process, but the cast was an incredible thing to come together. I mean, everybody cast was absolutely who should have played that part. And we got this cameraman from heaven who was just in the country briefly and then went back to Spain. So, some things are faded and all of that, I think, even if it seems like a big long struggle at the time, just have that vision and trust it.
Oh. How many
Yeah.
other crew members did you have? You mentioned the cameraman. Did you have a sound guy too, or did cast members do sound when they weren't on screen, or how'd that all work?
No, we didn't go as far as to make them do sound, but no, the crew was about 8 people all in, which is pretty small. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. And then
Great.
the cast, obviously, were just coming and going, different people. Not a great big cast. There were a couple of days of extras playing the people in the throne room and all that, but yeah, pretty modest all around in terms of the cast and crew.
Well, I'm excited to see this when it comes out. You'll have to let us know on the forum there when it's available.
Oh, you bet I will. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, thanks for being on the show, Brett. It's been great talking with you.
Yeah, honored to. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.